all about the 6 tips to actually reach 3 clients per day. Tip number 1 to hit this 3 client a day strategy is something I call next available. So let's be honest. I know many of you out there, when you get a new client, you feel a little bit anxious and you might delay where you're putting them on your schedule. You might have availability for tomorrow or even tonight, but instead, you feel a little anxious, so you wait 4 to 5 days. Maybe you throw them on your schedule end of next week just because you're having that overwhelm and that nervousness about working with somebody new. If we continue to stretch out and give ourselves all of this time, we are not helping ourselves build the muscle to overcome the anxiety and to get used to the pace that we are going to need to be at in order to reach our goals. So, when someone asks you when they can come in, I want you to very honestly give them your next available. Another benefit of practicing this next available strategy is that your clients will be more likely to show up. If you guys have ever struggled with having first time clients cancel or no show at the last minute, it could just be the appointment is just too far away for them to commit to. Getting them in sooner is really going to cut down on those cancellations, no shows, and reschedules. Tip number 2 is what I call a move up. Now, this is going to help you so much when it comes to cancellations, reschedules, and those no shows that happen. What we're going to do is when that happens, yes, you can have your policies in place for that. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at your schedule, see who's booked for the rest of the week, and see who has been in on that day before, who was really excited about coming in and getting their hair done. Then we're going to text them and see if they want to move up their appointment to the time that just canceled. So now we are buying ourselves maybe 3 or 4 days to fill an appointment versus filling the appointment today. Practicing moving up clients to then fill later in your week is a very simple way to keep your schedule going and not just see these cancellations and no-shows as $0, but as an opportunity to just move a couple of people around and get creative. I want you guys to always understand what you can control. We cannot control if people come to their appointment, if they reschedule, if they get sick, if they have a death in the family, etc. What we can control is having a system to bounce back quickly. Okay, tip number 3 for setting up and reaching this 3 client per day strategy is all about scheduling and how you book appointments into your schedule. So this is what this looks like. I know so many stylists who will ask their client what time they want to come in and then just book them at that time, even if it's a totally random time, like in the middle of the day. What we need to do instead is we need to get in the habit of strategically booking our clients. So, what this can look like is something I call first and last, and then stack. Okay, so first and last, when you have no one on your schedule for a day, instead of just booking that client whatever time they want to come in, I want you to offer them the first and last appointment of the day. Now, I know you guys are very stubborn about hanging on to that end of day time because maybe you can leave early. But remember, we are pushing ourselves to grow a business. We're not going to get there by playing hooky or not staying and working our full schedule. So that's what we're going to do if it's a totally empty day, is offer them that first appointment or that last appointment. If you do have appointments on the day that they're coming in, what you want to do is you want to stack. So you either want to put them right before the appointment that's on your book or right after. Again, I know you guys love to leave lots of room in between appointments because you never know what's going to happen and you don't want to feel stressed out at all. But again, every time we follow this, we stack our appointments, we make these goals, we are building that muscle to have the endurance and the ability, emotional, physical, mental ability to keep up the pace of a successful hairstylist, of your future self in 5 years. You're building that practice, and it's so important. All right, tip number 4 is all about our timing. So if we're going to have 3 clients per day and you are working, let's say, an 8-hour shift, this would break down to 2.5 hours per client. Some of you out there might be realizing that your average time per client is 4 hours, so this would never work for you. What I want you guys to understand is that every hairstylist out there, depending on what services you're offering, it's gonna be a little bit different, but mastering our timing, whether you're a blonding specialist or an extension specialist, is really, really vital to being able to successfully get fully booked. So let's take a look at this. What would a 2.5 hour 200 plus service look like? When I was behind the chair, I specialized in what I called dimensional color. And this is exactly what would work well for this type of timing and price point. The majority of my clients would come in and they would get a base color to cover their gray, a partial foil for dimensional color, a gloss in between the foils, so that would essentially even out anything that isn't highlighted. Then they would get a toner for the highlights, a conditioning treatment, a haircut, and a blow dry. All in all, this would even out to about $224 before tip. So, this is exactly the kind of service that you can offer quickly and effectively. Now, these dimensional color services are great because the color all processes at the same time. A great tip to really mastering your timing is going to be we want to have some kind of timer out on our station that only we can see and really keep track of maybe where we lose time and where we're more efficient. Managing our timing is never about being sloppy or rushing or being subpar at what we're doing. It is just about being effective. If it takes you 4 hours to make $200 in services, something has to give in order to make this work. And in my opinion, it's unethical for that to mean you just charge people more because you haven't mastered your efficiency and timing. Tip number 5 is all about upgrading your client service experience and increasing that average ticket. It's so important to know express services that you can do quickly that are great upgrades and that your clients will absolutely love. A few of my favorite ones are going to be scalp scrubs for thicker, faster growing hair, shine glosses, conditioning treatments, celebrity style. So, this would be a hot tool add on. So, curls, waves, making it super sleek and straight. Sun-kissed foils, so just maybe 5 foils around the face with 2 to 3 levels of lift makes them all sun-kissed, super easy upgrade. An extra 5 minutes on the scalp massage. You guys will be shocked at how many people will happily hand over $20 more to have that extra relaxation. And then also steam treatments are becoming more popular too. So itemize out and make a list of all of these services that you can do in 10 minutes or less, 15 minutes or less, and charge at least $20. Then have them on rotation of different offers that you can have. Throw them on a little VIP menu you can hand people at your station, whatever makes it easy for you to feel good about offering your clients these extra things. All right, we are to the last tip, tip number 6, which is endurance. I 100% believe that hairstylists are essentially athletes. This means we need to train, do drills, care for our bodies, and stay at peak performance in order to build the businesses that we love. Now, some people might see this as a drawback or a curse, but I see this as an amazing opportunity to just show up for ourselves. Some simple examples of caring for our bodies and staying in peak performance would be, doing cardio 3 times a week. So that could be long walks, jump rope, jumping jacks, hula hooping, like make it fun. Then we want to add in that strength training. This doesn't involve crazy equipment. It could be as simple as planks, push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. Okay, like even 10 minutes of that kind of activity really matters and can keep your body functioning. The last thing we want to do is work so hard to build a clientele and to get fully booked, and then once we're there and we're earning the money we dreamed of, not be able to physically sustain it. so important to build the physical, emotional, and mental endurance to build the business that we feel proud and fulfilled having. All right, now it's